Hi, I'm Sara Lam, Risk and Governance Lead at Aveni Labs. In this episode, I want to address a question we often get asked. Why not just use ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude for use cases within the financial services? After all, they're really powerful tools, they're broadly trained, fast evolving, and designed to be super helpful. But the truth is, they weren't really designed to operate in regulated settings where there are defined compliance boundaries that need to be applied in often complex and personalized scenarios that are designed to protect consumers. At Aveni, we've built FinLLM with our industry partners. It is a suite of finance-specific language models. The journey has highlighted where general-purpose models fall short. Now let's look at 5 areas where domain-specific models like FinLLM makes a measurable difference on safety, training, hallucination risk, deployment, and efficiency. Safety first, from assumption to evidence. Trusting AI outputs in finance isn't just a nice to have, it's a regulatory and ethical one. Public models are not inherently reliable. We've all seen models producing biased or misleading outputs, making things up. In a financial setting, that's just not acceptable, especially when customer can be materially impacted. What makes us safer? Well, FinLLM is developed under a robust assurance framework aligned with the EU AI Act, FC principles, consumer duty, model risk management from the PRA, GDPR, to name a few. We've distilled these regulatory texts into 6 core principles, translated them into standards and requirements, and then in turn embed them into our processes and systems throughout the model development lifecycle. In short, we define these regulatory boundaries from the outset, not just an afterthought. As an auditor in my previous life, it's something I drove into the business. If you bake compliance requirements into your processes and document your work and decisions, it shouldn't be onerous, and we can achieve better and more consistent outcomes. The regulatory landscape is continuously evolving, and we make sure we stay on top of it by checking in with our research partners at the University of Edinburgh to learn the latest best practices and actively participate in FCA AI initiatives, such as the AI Sprint in January, and we're about to go into experimentation within the sandbox to learn about industry challenges and what practical assurance looks like. For us, safety is embedded throughout our entire model lifecycle, from the way we source our data to deployment. Our data collection pipelines automatically exclude prohibited contents, apply toxicity and bias filters, and use GDPR-compliant pseudo-anonymization, including for special category data. Unlike general-purpose models that apply broad safety filters, FinLLM takes it to another granular level. We evaluate and mitigate risks that are specifically aligned to the financial services settings. We even created our own Aveni Bench Safety, a set of commercially permissible tests that go well beyond toxicity filters. The results are looking good. FinLLM outperforms similar-sized open-source models across most key categories, achieved through supervised fine-tuning with safety-focused datasets and targeted prompt engineering. It's not about chasing performance headlines. It's about demonstrating safety in context, because if a model isn't safe, even if it's performing, it's not deployment ready. Secondly, training. Domain knowledge can't be prompted in. You can ask a general models to act like a financial advisor, but that's surface level. It won't understand the reasoning behind a suitability assessment or the compliance constraints around a recommendation. FinLLMs are trained on data that reflects real financial interactions, including advisor conversations, policy documents, product disclosure, and regulatory breaches. This grounding shows up in how our model handles terminology, tone, and logic. We also overfitted the models with finance data type taxonomy, covering financial literacy, consumer-focused contents, risk management, compliance rules, among others. FinLLM isn't trying to do everything. It's purposefully optimized for finance, which is exactly what you need in a regulated environment. When it comes to evaluation, we test FinLLMs on tasks that are relevant in finance. Things like interpreting tabular data, doing mathematical reasoning, summarizing customer calls, or classifying financial documents. Where performance gap has been identified, we can do further fine-tuning on these key financial tasks. We've developed pipelines to quickly generate synthetic data if we need more to reinforce domain learning. Thirdly, hallucination, when confidence becomes risk. Hallucination is not a bug. It's just how these models work. They generate fluent text based on probability, not facts. We've seen models misquote regulations, invent product terms, or confidently provide incorrect advice. These aren't edge cases. They're recurring risk without the right guardrail in place. FinLLM reduce hallucination effectively because of how they are built, with strong financial alignment and fine-tuning through deep discovery and client collaboration. To inform design, initially we run a structured discovery process to understand the business use case thoroughly, map decision logics, customer journeys, and pain points, identify compliance boundaries to clarify what the model must and must not do, identify the expected customer and business outcome. This provides a narrow but deep insight into the model's role, allowing us to choose appropriate hallucination mitigation methods, fine-tune on targeted real-world data, and build use case-specific guardrails rather than just generic filters. The result, tighter alignment equals lower hallucination risk. You get a model that knows its boundaries and when to stop, refer, or request for more information. Deployment, why control matters. Many assume public models access via APIs are the fastest path to production, but at scale, the cost and control issues quickly escalate. Every API call costs money per token, per task, and with no memory or caching, repeat queries rack up costs. More importantly, you are sending sensitive data to third-party infrastructure, often outside your control or jurisdiction. This is a data privacy red flag, and likely to be well outside of any FS firm's risk appetite. On the other hand, FinLLM is designed for on-prem private cloud deployment, offering full data control, auditability, and lower, longer-term cost. You gain the ability to fine-tune, govern, and track model behavior on your terms with our technical expertise through a co-designed model. In financial services, data governance isn't a technical preference, it's a regulatory obligation. Lastly, efficiency, performance without excess. General models are massive. The size gives them breadth, but also brings latency, energy use, and operational cost concerns. FinLLM aren't just safer and more transparent. It delivers better performance with a smaller footprint. In a world where sustainability and cost are board-level concerns, this matters. Finally, just to conclude things, general-purpose models are impressive, but they're not made for financial services. They weren't trained with the right data, the right constraints, or the right deployment models. FinLLMs are built differently, with safety, control, and deep domain adaptation from the start. Thanks for watching. In our next episode, we'll dive deeper into how FinLLMs are evaluated and fine-tuned in live deployments.